an editorial allegory on power, corruption, and the judgment of conscience. The Gavel of Injustice, the rise to fall of the Chief Justice. He was appointed Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of the nation. The gavel in his hand became a hammer, and he used it to crush, to destroy, and to avert justice. He was wicked. He had no mercy. He oppressed the native and the foreigners alike. He deflected justice without a blink and causes whoever pays small to be vindicated, even if such person was guilty of every charge as it were. He pressed their faces into the dust and called it law. In his chambers, he would whisper to himself, "We are the ones in charge. Who can touch us?" Security followed him everywhere. Power sat on his shoulder like a shoulder pad. He politically sent over 100 innocent souls to prison. He delayed justice to suffer before condemned. He was paid to keep people in perpetual obscurity. He was paid to make sure any critics directed towards the government was sidelined forever. He signed away many more to the gallows, not for justice, but for envelopes. The more he succeeded, the more graves he dug. Politicians saw hope in him, but the government's critics saw injustice. He made justice to be personal and gave law a new approach. When one is passionately wicked, the devil himself must be on break. He must be on sabbatical holiday. With the blood money, he became rich. With the gavel's punch, he became powerful. He sent all his children abroad, good schools, good life. To the government, he was a useful boy. To the public, he was a god. He helped them avert justice to rigged elections. He silenced the oppositions. He intimidated anyone who dared to speak. Who can judge a high judge? People asked. A decade belonged to the wicked. The elders said, but a day belongs to the saints. The yam that was pounded 20 years ago can still burn the fingers today. The wicked man never knows. His wickedness will become a lesson for others. Little did he know that the future was just a stone throw away from karma. Years passed, the rain came and went, and time had replaced him, and power was no longer invoked for him. Politicians had gone the way of others, and now the future is the existing past that has refused to disappear. The mighty chief priest fell sick, a sickness that swallowed all his savings. He flew overseas for treatment, but the dollar had risen. Healthcare abroad cost more than all his bribes combined. Back home, the hospitals he refused to fund were now mortuaries in disguise. The power was gone. The connections were gone. The guards were gone. For one whole year, sickness nailed him to one spot. Then came the final blow. The houses he built abroad with public money were traced. New government seized them. He returned to square one, sick, broke, and forgotten. But his children had graduated. At least money wasn't wasted. He told himself they will never know hardship. His first son, polished and brilliant, took his foreign certificate and went for an interview. He was the best candidate. The recruiter smiled, but the owner of the company saw his surname. It was the same surname as the former Chief Justice. She looked at the young man and said quietly, "Whether it's him, his relative, or just a coincidence, I will not hire that name in my company." She tore his appointment letter right in front of him. That was the third time it happened. With a broken heart, the son went home. He knelt by his dying father's bed and whispered, "Daddy." They tore my letter again. The third time, a single tear slid down the old man's cheek and sank into the mattress. The former Chief Justice, now frail and powerless, looked at his son and said with a trembling voice, "My son, the world is a small circle. What goes around always comes around. I used my pen to tear people's destiny. I made sure some people were forgotten in the prison because they never paid the money demanded. I used my position to exonerate the politician that looted public funds to be free. It was easy for me. But today, they are using theirs to tear yours." He closed his eyes as his past became a cancer to the future of his children. The gavel had finally fallen on him. Moral lessons from this: you can escape the law of men, but you can never escape the law of sowing and reaping. You can escape the prison because of your position today, but cannot swindle law of karma tomorrow. We are one way or the other closer to the future of our deeds. If you do good, continue. If you do evil, keep doing it. Let not emotion come to bring you on your knees when the table turns. I remain my humble self. Whatever you call me, see you next Thursday, and bye for now.